whenever you are submitting online application in any scholarship, irrespective of Hong Kong, they're basically mandatory documents is including Hong Kong. The first one is, of course, the CV or a resume. The second one is a research proposal, and the third one is uh, the SOP, the statement of purpose. So these are the basically most important things that you must need to focus on, because these play a vital role whenever you are grabbing any fully funded scholarship. So the first thing is, most important thing is, whenever you are approaching any professor, the first and most important thing is your email. So I would like to mention two to three important steps that I basically experienced during sending email. So what you need to do whenever you are sending any email, the first thing is you need to briefly introduce yourself. Like, my name is Sabir Hussain. I did my graduation in Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, and I did my master in discipline of epidemiology and public health from University of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, Lahore, Pakistan. And my research area is One Health, zoonosis, epidemiology, and I have I worked as a research experience in I have 2 year research experience in for any project that you have worked so far. And then later on, you must need to mention your research professors that you to whom you want to pursue. For example, if you are pursuing a professor that is working in the virology domain, then you must need to link your research to your virology professors. So you must need to mention that, yeah, what you have, like, the thing is how you can check the research professors, like in which research direction he is working. So there are basically 2 to 3 ways that you can check the research profile of that professor. The first thing is you can check on the university website. But the thing is, whenever you are checking on the university website, sometime professors is too much busy, so they don't have the enough time to update their website. The other thing is you can just copy the name of that professor and then mention their university website, just paste on the Google. So there is Google Scholar. There is basically, so you can go to the Google Scholar profile, and there is a basically option on year. So whenever you click on the year, so it will be automatically go to the recent. For example, 2023 is ongoing. So the publication will be show like in which recently the professor is working. So you can mention and align your research area in that way, and then afterwards you can continue that, yeah, this research area is perfectly aligned with my research area. So that's why I'm highly interested to apply for the Hong Kong PhD fellowship scheme. So here I enclose my CV and statement of purpose, or you can just simply at the moment you can just include CV. No need to include statement of purpose. Like, you can just mention that, yeah, here I include my CV for your kind consideration. Please have a look. If you have any further vacancy, I will be very happy, and I'm available anytime depending on your convenient time. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. So the thing is, if I summarize, the first thing in the email is you just need to briefly introduce yourself, and the second one is what you have done so far, yeah, like your research directions. Third point is how you can align your, like, in which professor or lab is currently working. You need to interlink. And then the fourth one is why you are interested in that domain. And then you can mention that, attach your CV, and later on you can mention that, yeah, you are interested on the Hong Kong PhD fellowship scheme. So this is the basically simple procedure about the email. So the second thing is, of course, the most important thing after the email is CV. So CV is really very important. So, like, in case of mine, I can just briefly have a overview to you that what are the things, most important things that you can mention in your CV. Like, here is my CV. Like, for example, you just need to mention the first your name. There is no need to upload any pictures. So this is basically old format. Like, and so you just need to mention your name, and then afterwards your brief overview, summary, education, and then afterwards keep bullet points that you want to highlight, and then afterwards experience. What's your experience that you have done so far? What's your research interest? If you have awards and honors, if you have the publications, and then afterwards, like, if you presented your conference, abstract, symposium, or invited talks. So professional experiences, you have the research grants or contracts. If you have the digital skills, organization skills, if you have reviewed your paper, reviewer's assignment, professional membership, and other IDs. But in case of like, as you are already, this is too much. To be very honest, whenever you are on that level, you just need to mention like maybe you don't have the like you have one publication or maybe conference symposium one or two. You don't need to worry about it. So because life is, you just need to learn. Like in case of mine, whenever I was submitting my online application, at that time I only have one publication as a co-author and two abstracts, so you don't need to worry about it. But now within 2 to 3 years I have updated my profile. You can see that how much publications and conference or symposium I have. So you don't worry about it that in that stage, if you don't have this kind of stuff, you can just, if you have a good academic record, you have the IELTS, and you have one publication, or if you don't have even publication, you have the conference abstract, that's more than enough. So that was about the CV. And the rest one is, I would like to discuss about the statement of purpose. Yeah, statement of purpose is also very important thing. So let me share my screen and I would like to share. I don't have my own statement of purpose. So I will discuss as an example of, this is the basically one of the candidates that is achieved the fully funded scholarship in public health from Harvard University. So before I would like to share that what are the most important things that you must need to mention in your statement of purpose, because this is the most important key, that why you are the suitable candidates, not others. What are the distinctions, how you can sell yourself, how you can like, just like whenever you are visiting some market, and there are a lot of shops, but you will visit many shops, but you will purchase only one item. So similar in that case, statement of purpose is very important. So you must need to describe your qualities and distinctions in such a way so that you are the unique and suitable candidate from others. So the first thing is you must need to share. First one is, because there are a lot of thousands of applications, maybe you are competing internationally. You are not like, maybe you don't know, you cannot even estimate that how many number of applicants. So what you need to do, so that the reviewers are interested in your statement of purpose, first you need to share by creating a story. Like in that case, like he created a story in such a way, he is working on influenza epidemic. So he created that, yeah, in 1998 there was basically epidemic of influenza. So the people are really interested that, okay, let's go on. So if the reviewer is started going to read your statement of purpose, it's a good sign for you. Because many of the cases, if your statement of purpose is not interesting, maybe he will just like, he will not bother to read your CV. Like like if being a veterinarian, for example, you can if you are working on virology, like you can mention that, like, yeah, when I was I belong from village or city areas, or you can say that uh, one day I saw one of the rabbit dog, and I was interested to know that what's going on and what's the disease. So I was, you know, just creating a story in such a way that, yes, then I was more interested. At that time, I was like, you can say 15 to 16 years old. So I was more interested to know that what the disease is, how we can treat that disease. So that's why I enrolled in doctor of veterinary medicine. And later on I was more interested, and I started my career as a doctor of veterinary medicine. So similarly, and then afterwards you can go for brief history of that context. Then what will be your academic and professional background, like he mentioned. And then what's your research interest, and how your research interest basically matching the lab to whom you want to join. And then motivation and goal. And then afterwards you can say concluding remarks. So, and like this is the one example. Like if I talk about another example, this is the basically another statement of purpose from the Duke University in USA. So here they can, like you can see, the first one is opening paragraph by creating a story. And then second one is you need to mention your background. What's your academic background and skills you have. Then afterwards, why you are basically how much research experience you have, and how this research experience is basically aligned with that research professor or any lab to whom wanna join. Then afterwards, why this university? You need to mention that why this university, and what's your goal, short-term goal and long-term goal. And mention, like if you are applying for the scholarship, you need to mention the scholarship name as well. And then afterwards, the last one is concluding remarks. Yeah, what will be your, like in case of short term, you can just say that, yeah, I want to build my career, I want to grow up myself, I want to learn these modern techniques. And in long term, for example, if you are working in as a research, you can say that I want to learn these techniques, and then afterwards, whenever I go back to my country, I will develop a lab, and I will like to polish these skills, and I will whenever any new oncoming graduates will join, they will learn from my experience. So these are the most important things that you must need to mention in your statement of purpose. So and the if I talk about my research proposal, there are basically 3 to 4 things that you must need to mention in your research proposal. The first one is brief background, and then the second one is you can mention the objective. What will be your objective of your study, like in case of master, and then our PhD. And then third one is what will be your expected methodology, and the fourth one is expected outcome. So these are the 4 things that you must need to mention in your research proposal. The first one is background, second one objective, third one is proposed your material method, and the fourth one is expected outcome. So these are the 3 to 4 things that you must need to mention in your research proposal as well. So that's all about my side. If you have any further questions, I would be very happy to answer.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Saab.
Hello.
What is coming in my mind? You have done with email, you're done with cover letter. So reference letter.
Yeah, recommendation letter. In case of recommendation letter, if you already, like in case of Hong Kong, if I talk about Hong Kong scholarship, you don't need to prepare in hard form. You just need to contact your at least associate professor or professor, and that, like, if they are willing, then whenever you are submitting your online application, you just need to mention their name and email address. As a result, whenever you will submit your online application successfully, then electronically link will be generated in their email box. So they need to upload their recommendation letter directly to that website, not in hard form. So this is the most important thing that's also you need to mention in your mind. Yeah, and because most important thing is whenever you are submitting your online application, and most of the time you need to remind your professor. In case of Pakistan, I'm not talking about other countries perspective. So in case of Pakistan, you need to remind those professors that yeah, maybe whenever you will submit your online application, maybe instantly the link will be generated in that email box. So you need to remind them that please submit their recommendation letter on your behalf. So that's also a plus point. You need to mention this thing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
So, mm,
Yeah, and other thing is I would like to mention, because many of the candidates, this this point is CTU kernel scheme. Like if you are, for example, in Hong Kong and you wanna dream USA life as well, so you can you can spend at least 1.5 or 2 years in Hong Kong, and rest you can enjoy the life in USA as well. So even though if you are on other scholarship as well, you can still go for USA as well. The thing is, you must need to, you can convince your professor in such a way that you wanna, why you wanna, join USA, and what will be your goal. So this is a good plus point as well for the Hong Kong, that even though if you join in any other country, even not USA, in any other country, but you must need to be, first, convince your professor. If your professor is agree, then you can work in any other country and you can work and research there. But the other plus point is your scholarship around for 6 months, your scholarship amount will also increase. So that's also a plus point as well.
Okay, so can you elaborate more how to get opportunity in USA from Hong Kong? What steps
Yes.
you followed?
Yeah, in terms of like my professor is very cooperative. I don't have words to say. He's a British guy. So first, in when I joined my uh, Hong Kong City University of Hong Kong, then first I satisfied them by working, whatever I can do, maybe working around 8 a.m. to 5 to 6 p.m. daily, because there is no load in Hong Kong, to be very honest. So 8 to 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. you are working every day, and then afterwards you need to publish at least 2 or 3 papers. Then as a result, whenever you publish your papers, then professor you are convincing your professor. Then afterwards, if your professor is cooperative, then you can talk with them that, yeah, I wanna basically pursue my future career in USA as well. So if he is agree, then he can give you a permission that yes, you can contact any professor in USA. If he or she and professor is willing, then you can just you can go. So the thing is, when a professor is agree, then you just need to submit online application to inform your universities. So they will approve your application, and it will hardly take only 15 to 20 days for your approval, and then afterwards you can apply for USA.
That's interesting. I have two questions. Who will sponsor the expenses of visit to USA?
Yeah, that's interesting. As I mentioned earlier, this is a very plus point of the Hong Kong, that not only they will give the same amount, they will increase the scholarship amount. So in terms of like they will increase your scholarship amount, but in terms of lab expenses, that will be covered by your hosting supervisor. Like in case of you are joining USA, then you must need to talk with your professor that, yeah, as you are joining their lab free of cost, they will not pay you even a single penny, but they will pay your lab expenditures. If they are willing to pay your lab expenditure because you are working in their lab, you are spending their consumables, then what's their benefit? Again, you need to publish the papers, and that's their benefit.
Yeah, so my question is, you are in Hong Kong, your project, your research was going on. How you matched, like if I'm leaving Hong Kong, I'm leaving my place, I'm going to another place, I'm doing
Mhm.
some work, that work will really match my work and it will like
Yes, I
maybe
got your point.
maybe your professor had collaborated before with that professor, or maybe you
No.
identified that collaboration opportunity.
Yes, that's a very interesting. The thing is, whenever you are working in your research area, the most important thing is you need to build your reading habits. So, for example, whenever you are reading your research professor, of course, you are realizing that in which research direction other professors are working. So, there will be a two scenario. In case of mine, I contacted I contacted US professor myself. We don't have even collaboration before, so I just contacted that, yeah, I have my own funding. I just want to join your lab because we have the similar research directions. Then he conducted my interview, and then afterward he said, yes, okay, you can join. So the thing is, if you have already collaboration, it's a good plus point. You can even go without interview. But if you don't have the collaboration, you don't need to worry. You just need to, approach that professor and mention your detail, what you have done so far, and why you want to join their lab, and what's your goal. So if he or she is interested, maybe they can host
Yeah, that's a nice answer. I have one more question that is little bit advanced level question. Like when you join a lab in USA, when it will come to publish the results, you will be first author or their lab members will be first author, you will be just a co-author, because this is very great.
you. Yeah.
This has a lot of importance for your thesis.
Of course, yeah, exactly. This is the really very important thing because whenever you are, joining any lab, especially, you need to be very clear about your what you will do and what's your goal and what will be, how you will be benefited. So, in my case, I already contacted my professor, like a US professor, that I will work in this domain. So, if I will work in this domain, I will be the first author. If you are agree, I will join your lab. So if he is agree, then you can join your lab. But yeah, as the other lab members are already helping you, of course they will be the co-author, and we don't have any objection if they are as a co-author. But the thing is, if as we need to include that paper in our research, thesis, then it's a good and plus point if you are as a first author, not co-author. But in terms like if they are helping, meanwhile I'm also helping in their projects, so we have at least dual benefit. Whenever they will publish, I will be as a co-author. But the here one most important thing is there will be not even a granting publications. If you have really done some involve, achieved some goal, then they will, involve you as a co-author. Otherwise, there is no any possibility that they will include your name without doing anything.
Yes, I can understand. A professor has at same time 10 to 20 students which he is supervising in different ways, so those 20 students are not included in one paper. Only 3 4 5 are included which are really participating in data collection analysis, like that stuff. Okay, thank you so much. So now we will I want to request all the participants who have questions, please raise your hand and keep them raised until I will ask you to unmute yourself, and then you can ask question to Dr. Sabir and he will give you answers. So I will stop recording here and we will start new recording for question answer session. Thank you.